The sky was calm, the sun shining over cities and farmlands, when suddenly a shadow blocked the light. People stopped in the streets, looking up in horror as massive ships, like mountains in the sky, appeared without warning. They hung silently, casting dark shapes over the earth. No one knew where they came from or why they were here. Governments scrambled. Military jets raced the skies, but the ships did not move or attack. Instead, a loud voice boomed through every broadcast channel in every language, demanding Earth's surrender. The voice was cold and robotic, carrying no emotion. It said, "Surrender now or face total destruction." Panic spread like wildfire. People ran to shelters. Some screamed in disbelief. Others prayed. Cities turned into chaos. Leaders gave orders, but they felt powerless. The alien ships released smaller crafts that hovered over capitals, cutting off communication and transportation. The world's strongest armies found themselves frozen, unsure how to fight something so different, so vast. Yet, far beneath the surface, in a network of hidden bunkers, a small group of humans stayed calm. They were the last hope, a secret resistance that had prepared for this day for years. Their leader, a woman named Maya, stood in front of a glowing map of Earth, her eyes sharp with focus. "We don't fight yet," she told her team. "They expect us to panic, to attack blindly. But we have a plan. They think Earth will fall in days. They don't know what waits in the shadows." A young man named Rian checked his weapon silently. He had grown up hearing stories of alien wars from his grandfather, but this was real now. The flickering lights of the bunker cast long shadows on the walls, making the faces around him look tense but determined. Outside, the world was falling apart. Cities burned as alien drones scanned for resistance. People disappeared overnight, taken by the invaders. Yet the resistance moved carefully, striking only when necessary, and disappearing before the aliens could react. One night, Maya walked alone through the dark corridors of the bunker. She paused by a screen showing live feeds from drones spying above the alien ships. Suddenly, one feed showed something strange. A flicker, a shadow moving inside the mothership. It was subtle but clear enough to catch her eye. "Wait! What just happened?" she whispered to herself. Her heart raced. There is someone else there. Someone or something the aliens are hiding. She called her second in command, an old scientist named Dr. Klein. His eyes widened when he saw the footage. "This changes everything," he said quietly. "We thought we were the only ones left. But maybe there's another force at play." As the days passed, the resistance discovered more strange signs. Systems on the alien ships that didn't match their technology, unexplained power surges, and mysterious symbols carved into the alien armor. It was as if the invaders were not alone. Meanwhile, the aliens made one grave mistake. They underestimated human resilience. A small team led by Rian managed to hack an alien drone and turn it against them. The explosion lit up the sky, a spark of hope in a dark world. But hope came with a price. The aliens retaliated fiercely, capturing many resistance fighters. Rian barely escaped, haunted by the faces of his friends lost. One night, in the quiet of the bunker, he broke down, telling Maya, "We can't keep hiding forever. They will find us." Maya placed a hand on his shoulder. "We fight smart, not just with weapons. They don't understand Earth. Our world has secrets they have never seen." A flashback came to her. Years ago, when she was a child, her grandfather showed her a hidden cave deep in the mountains. Inside were strange drawings and old machines left by a forgotten civilization. "Earth is older than we think," he had said, "and stronger." Now, that memory fueled her resolve. The resistance started preparing for a war not just of weapons, but of minds and secrets. One evening, while the world above lay quiet in fear, a low hum filled the bunker. The alien artifact they had found months before began to glow faintly, pulsing like a heartbeat. Maya stared at it. Sensing it was more than a machine, it was a message, a key. Suddenly, the artifact emitted a sharp pulse. Everyone in the bunker felt it, a wave of energy that made their skin tingle. Maya reached out, her fingers brushing the smooth surface, and the room darkened for a moment. A voice echoed in her mind, not alien, not human, but ancient and wise. The game has begun. You were chosen to be the shadow that falls upon the invader. Maya gasped, pulling her hand back. The artifact's glow faded, but the feeling stayed. Outside, the alien ships remained motionless, watching, waiting. They believed victory was close. But deep beneath the surface, a new force was awakening. The resistance prepared to strike, not with brute force, but with something the aliens could never expect. The last light in the darkness was not a flare, but a whisper. And Earth's true battle had just begun. The world above was silent, controlled by the alien invaders who had crushed every visible sign of human resistance. Their massive ships hovered like dark clouds, and their patrols moved relentlessly, scanning every street and building. To the invaders, it seemed like Earth was theirs completely. Nothing moved without their permission. But beneath the surface, in hidden tunnels, forgotten ruins, and secret bases, a different battle was being fought. Small teams of humans struck in the shadows. They sabotaged alien machines, hacked into enemy systems, and launched lightning raids on supply convoys. Each attack was carefully planned, leaving behind no trace of who had done it. The aliens grew angrier every day. Their commanders shouted orders, demanding answers, but the humans were ghosts, unseen, unheard, unstoppable. Maya sat in a dark room filled with screens and wires. The Resistance's communications hub buzzed with coded messages and intercepted alien signals. Her eyes scanned the data streams, looking for patterns, clues, anything that could tip the balance. "We hit their power grids again last night," a young hacker named Lian reported. "They're scrambling to fix the damage, but it's slowing them down." Maya nodded. "Good. Every delay helps." Suddenly, an alert flashed on one screen, a weak transmission coming from inside the alien command ship orbiting Earth. The signal was scrambled and heavily encrypted, but the pattern was human. Someone inside the enemy's strongest fortress was sending a message. "Wait, what just happened?" Maya whispered. "We have a spy." She quickly gathered her team. They worked feverishly to decode the message. The spy's words were brief but chilling. "They are preparing something worse. The surface war is only a distraction. The real threat is coming from their home world." The room fell silent. No one knew exactly what that meant, but it was clear the invaders had plans far beyond Earth. The spy risked everything to warn them, and they had to act fast. Rian, a fierce fighter with scars from past battles, clenched his fists. "We need to get more info. Who is this spy? What exactly are they hiding?" Maya's mind raced. She remembered a time before the invasion, when governments argued and ignored warnings about alien movements. Now, those mistakes felt like distant nightmares. Humanity's survival depended on this fragile thread of hope. In the darkness of the night, Maya made a decision. "We'll send a team to the last known location of the spy's transmission. It's inside the alien command ship's shadow zone, dangerous, but our only chance." The team prepared with quiet urgency. Rian volunteered to lead. As they boarded a stolen alien shuttle, Maya's heart tightened. This mission could be their last, but it was the only way to learn the truth. As the shuttle approached the massive command ship, the vastness of the alien technology overwhelmed them. The ship's surface was like a fortress made of living metal, glowing with strange lights and shifting panels. Rian's team moved stealthily through narrow corridors, avoiding patrols and surveillance drones. Inside the ship, the atmosphere was cold and sterile, with eerie hums echoing through the halls. Strange symbols and alien scripts covered the walls, pulsing with unknown energy. The team felt eyes watching them, but no one appeared. Suddenly, a door slid open to reveal a dimly lit chamber. Inside stood a figure, human in shape, but wearing an alien suit that glowed faintly with blue light. The spy. Rian lowered his weapon slightly. The spy's eyes were tired but resolute. "You came," the spy whispered. "There's no time." The spy led them to a hidden console, hacking into the alien mainframe with practiced ease. The aliens aren't just here to conquer. They're harvesting life, energy, and memories. Earth was a test planet. Maya's voice trembled as she listened. A test planet? For what? The spy's face darkened. For a war machine, a weapon that can erase entire worlds. They planned to use it here. Soon. Suddenly, alarms blared. The ship's security had detected their presence. The team rushed to escape, pursued by relentless drone soldiers. They fought with desperation, every step closer to freedom of battle. Outside, the shuttle fired its engines and dove through the void. The spy clutched a small data chip, the last piece of proof of the coming horror. Back in the bunker, the message was clear. The war on Earth was only the beginning. Humanity's real fight was just starting. But the alien invaders were closing in. Their anger turned to rage, their hunt for the resistance growing fiercer. The humans had to be faster, smarter, or face total annihilation. As Maya stared at the flickering lights of the control room, she whispered, "They think they own the Earth, but the hidden war has only just begun." A shadow moved behind her, a silent promise that the fight would take every last breath. The countdown to the unknown was ticking, and the fate of humanity hung in the balance. The underground base was alive with quiet tension. The walls hummed with power as alien technology hummed in silent synchronization, controlled by human hands now. This was the heart of the Shadow Fighters, a secret force built from the remnants of humanity, trained to use the invaders' weapons against them. Their mission was clear: hit hard, disappear fast, and never give the enemy a moment of peace. Kale, a young but fierce warrior, checked his gear with steady hands. His eyes scanned a holographic map, glowing before him, the blueprints an alien supplied depot deep inside enemy territory. Tonight's mission was risky but crucial. If they could destroy this depot, the aliens would lose key supplies and morale would crack further. The base commander's voice echoed softly in their earpieces. "Remember, you're ghosts. Hit hard, hit fast. Extraction in 10 minutes. No delays." The team moved silently through the tunnels, their steps muffled by the advanced suits designed to blend with shadows. Kale felt the weight of every moment. The air was thick with the unknown, but he trusted his team: Sharif, the sniper whose calm was legendary; Lila, the tech expert who hacked alien systems with ease; and Rena, whose close combat skills were unmatched. They reached the edge of the alien perimeter and waited for the signal. Kale's heart pounded, not from fear but from the weight of what lay ahead. Suddenly, a soft pulse rippled through their comms, the sign to move. In an instant, the night erupted in controlled chaos. Explosions tore through the depot's walls as Kale's team unleashed their carefully planned attack. Shuri's sniper shots found their marks, dropping alien guards silently. Lila hacked security nodes, turning defenses against their own. Rena moved like a shadow, disabling enemy patrols with brutal efficiency. For a moment, victory seemed within reach. Then everything shifted. An unexpected wave of alien reinforcements flooded the area. The invaders had anticipated the attack. Someone had betrayed them. The team's extraction point was overrun. Their shuttle was destroyed in a fiery blast, cutting off their escape. Kale's voice came through the comms, steady but urgent. "Fall back. Move to secondary extraction point Delta. Stay tight." But the shadows closed in. The team found themselves trapped in a maze of alien corridors, the enemy closing the noose. Every corridor echoed with the heavy boots of aliens, their harsh voices shouting orders in a language Kale couldn't understand but felt deep in his bones. Sharif covered their retreat with precise shots, but his ammo was running low. Lila frantically worked to override alien door locks, sweat dripping from her brow. Rena fought back-to-back with Kale, their movements a deadly dance as they pushed deeper into the labyrinth. Kale's mind flashed to his past, a memory of his sister, lost in the early days of the invasion. Her face, full of hope and fear, burned inside him. He had promised to fight for the future she never got to see. That promise was a fire that kept him moving. They reached a large chamber, but the exit was sealed by a strange alien force field. Lila's fingers flew over a portable console, trying every code and sequence she knew. The timer in her mind ticked louder. Every second meant more enemy forces closing in. Suddenly, a low growl echoed from the shadows. The temperature dropped, and the air thickened with something unnatural. The team froze. From the darkness emerged creatures, Alien bioforms bred for hunting, half machine, half organic monsters designed for terror. Rena growled, raising her weapon. We're not just fighting soldiers now. This is something worse. Kale's heart raced. The creatures lunged, their claws tearing through metal and flesh. The team fought desperately, every strike a desperate prayer for survival. Lila managed to hack the force field just in time. The barrier flickered and dropped, but the cost was high. Sharif was gravely wounded, clutching his side, blood staining his suit. Kale dragged him through the exit as alien alarms blared. They had to keep moving, no matter what. Outside, the alien landscape stretched cold and hostile. The team ran, hunted by enemy patrols and relentless bio-beasts. Their oxygen levels dropped, and communication grew spotty. The weight of isolation pressed down like a stone. Kale's calm crackled with a chilling voice. You cannot escape. We know where you are. The word sent a shiver down their spines. The aliens were watching, waiting for their prey to make a mistake. Lila's voice was firm despite the fear. We need a new plan. We can't keep running blindly. Kale nodded, wiping blood from his brow. We'll fight. We'll make our last stand where they least expect it. As they reached the ruins of an ancient city buried beneath the alien occupation, something shifted inside Kale. His suit began to resonate with a strange energy. The alien tech fused with his body, activating in response to danger. A mysterious hologram flickered to life, a message from a long-lost human scientist, recorded years ago. To whoever finds this, know that the true weapon is not the technology, but the will to survive. The Shadow Fighters are the last hope. The words filled Kale with renewed strength. The team prepared for battle, knowing that this fight was more than just survival. It was a message. Humans would never surrender. They would rise from the shadows, no matter the cost. Suddenly, a shockwave hit the ruins, sending dust and debris into the air. The ground trembled. Kale looked up to see massive alien war machines emerging, their glowing eyes scanning for targets. Time was running out. Kale glanced at his team, their faces grim but determined. We fight here. We fight now. The battle erupted like thunder, human grit against alien steel. Explosions lit the night, and every strike from the Shadow Fighters shook the enemy's confidence. The invaders faltered, their paranoia growing with every loss. But just when victory seemed near, the ground cracked open beneath them. From the depths, an ancient alien guardian, massive and terrifying, rose to crush all resistance. Kale's heart stopped. The mission was no longer just about sabotage. It was a fight for the soul of humanity itself. As the guardian's shadow fell over them, Kale shouted, "Hold the line! For Earth!" The screen faded to black, leaving only the echo of war and the promise of a fight that would never end. The cold, metallic walls of the underground prison hummed softly, filled with a tense silence broken only by the occasional clink of chains and the muffled voices of guards. The alien scientist sat restrained in a high-tech containment chair, his tall, slender form unusual but undeniably intelligent. His eyes, glowing faintly with an eerie light, scanned the room with cautious curiosity. He was the first of his kind ever captured alive by humans, and his knowledge could change everything. Kale stood across from him, flanked by two soldiers, his expression unreadable but his mind racing. They had risked everything to capture the scientist after a desperate ambush on an alien research outpost. The information they sought was clear: how to fight these invaders, how to survive. Yet what they heard was far darker than they had imagined. The scientist's voice was soft but chilling, each word dripping with hidden meaning. You think this is a war for land or power. It is not. Your species is a resource, much more valuable than any planet. Kale frowned, tightening his grip on the rifle. What do you mean? We are not here to be used. The alien's gaze shifted, revealing a glimpse of ancient sorrow. Your emotions, your fears, they are fuel. The architects who sent us, they harvest such energy. Your struggles feed a network beyond your understanding. A heavy silence filled the room. The soldiers exchanged uneasy glances. This was no ordinary conquest. Humanity was caught in a cosmic web of exploitation. Suddenly, the scientist's face twisted into something closer to desperation. I did not come here to doom your race. I was a rebel among my people. We are fractured, some of us opposed to what our leaders have become. Kale leaned forward, hope sparking in his chest. Tell me what we need to know, how we fight them. The alien nodded slowly, pain etched deep in his features. Your biology reacts strangely to certain frequencies. Bioweapons designed for other species are less effective on you. But there's a weakness, a virus embedded in your DNA, a dormant trigger left by your ancestors. It can be activated, but it comes with great risk. Risk? Kale asked, tension rising. Yes, the alien whispered. A weapon inside you, but also a curse. If awakened incorrectly, it could destroy your entire species. Kale's mind raced. This was a key, a weapon within, a double-edged sword. But time was running out. Before they could ask more, alarms blared through the facility. Red lights flashed violently. The aliens' eyes widened in fear. They're coming! A second fleet, a force far greater than the one you fought. The soldiers tensed, rushing to their stations. Kale's heart pounded. The war was about to escalate beyond anything Earth had seen. In the chaos, the alien scientist's voice cut through. Listen carefully. You have less than 72 hours. Use what I have told you wisely. Otherwise, everything you fight for will be lost. Kale grabbed the alien's arm. Wait! Who are these architects? Why use humans like this? The alien's eyes darkened. The architects are ancient beings who manipulate life for their own survival. Earth was a seed, one of many. They discard what does not serve them. A shudder passed through Kale's body. The enemy was not just an invading force. It was puppeteers of entire civilizations. As the alarms intensified, the facility's power flickered. Outside, distant roars echoed. The sound of approaching warships, bigger and more terrifying than before. Kale turned to his team. We have to prepare. This is no longer just about survival. It's about fighting for the soul of humanity. The alien scientist's final words lingered, haunting. The shadow of the second fleet will blot out your sun, but within you lies the spark to burn it away. The countdown to annihilation had begun. The dawn broke over the shattered skyline of what once was a thriving human city. Smoke curled from burning buildings, and the horizon was littered with the twisted remains of alien war machines. The war was no longer a secret battle in the shadows. It had erupted into an all-out fight for Earth's future. Deep inside a fortified human command center, Kale stood surrounded by screens displaying real-time battles. Using stolen alien technology, humanity had finally turned the tide. Their engineers and scientists worked tirelessly, reverse engineering the invaders' weapons and drones. Now, humans fought not just with grit and courage, but with the enemy's own deadly tools. The once invisible war had become a brutal, fiery storm. Outside, the streets were battlefields. Robotic drones buzzed overhead, firing plasma bursts that lit up the darkened skies. Alien machines stomped through the rubble, their metallic limbs crushing everything in their path. But humans were relentless. Fighters moved in coordinated strikes, using guerrilla tactics learned over months of survival. Each explosion was a message. Earth would not fall quietly. Kale's mind flicked back to the days when the alien ships first appeared, when fear had paralyzed most of humanity. Now, hope burned bright, born of desperation, of loss, but also of cunning and unity. His squad prepared to lead the next wave of attacks, missions that would cut the alien supply lines and cripple their communication networks. Status report. Kale demanded, eyes scanning the battlefield feeds. Lila, the tech expert, pointed to a screen. We've hacked their drone control frequencies. We can turn some of them against their own forces. But it won't last long. The aliens are adapting. Kale nodded grimly. Then we hit harder, faster. In the distance, a massive explosion shook the ground. The alien forces, surprised by human resilience, scrambled to regroup. Their leader, a towering alien general known as Varkul, paced in his command ship orbiting Earth. His multi-eyed face twisted in fury as reports of lost territory flooded in. We underestimated them, he growled. Humans are not as weak as we believed. Suddenly, his communication console beeped urgently. A trusted lieutenant's face appeared, but the expression was unreadable, calm, almost too calm. Varkel's eyes narrowed. "We have a problem," the lieutenant said quietly. "There is a faction within our ranks, those who question your command. They believe your strategies put our entire mission at risk." Varkel's grip tightened on the console. "Betrayal? Who dares?" The lieutenant hesitated, then delivered the blow. "One of your closest advisors is leading the descent. They plan to overthrow you and negotiate with the humans." Varkel's shock was genuine. No one had dared challenge him before. The realization hit him hard. This war was not only against humanity, but also a battle for control within his own people. Back on Earth, Kale's squad pushed through enemy lines, hacking and destroying alien communication hubs. Each success fueled the human fighters' determination, but every victory came with a price. The streets ran red with the blood of fallen comrades. Kale's thoughts returned to a memory, his father's voice urging him to never give up, to fight not just for survival, but for freedom. As the city burned, Kale felt the weight of responsibility settle on his shoulders. This was no longer just a battle. It was the final chance to reclaim their world. Suddenly, the comm crackled with urgent news. "Kale, you need to see this." On the screen appeared a broadcast from an alien general speaking directly to the human resistance. "To the people of Earth, your fight is noble but futile. A new leader has taken command. We offer peace, but only if you surrender." The message was strange, but filled with a hidden warning. Kale's mind raced. Was this a trick? A ploy from the traitors within the alien ranks? Or a genuine chance to end the bloodshed? Lilo whispered, "This could divide the aliens further. We can use it." Kale's heart pounded. The time for hesitation was over. Prepare response. "We will not bow, but we will make them question their leaders." As night fell, the city held its breath. The war was far from over, but humanity's counterattack had changed the game. The fight was no longer just for survival. It was a war for the soul of Earth and the future of all who lived beneath its skies. In the darkness, a new threat loomed. The alien factions teetered on the edge of civil war, and only one thing was certain. The next move would decide the fate of worlds. The sky darkened as the new alien fleet emerged beyond Earth's atmosphere. Enormous ships, sleek and menacing, blotted out the stars one by one. The world held its breath, every radar and telescope fixed on the looming threat. This was the moment humanity had prepared for, a final stand against an enemy that had come not just to conquer, but to erase. Kale stood on a battered hill overlooking the battlefield, his eyes steady but his heart pounding. Around him, soldiers readied their weapons, pilots climbed into their fighter jets, and civilians sought shelter, hope flickering in every face. The air was thick with tension, a strange silence before the storm. The first wave of alien fighters swooped down like a deadly swarm, their plasma cannons firing brilliant blue bolts that scorched the earth and shredded metal. Human jets launched into sky, their engines roaring as they danced through enemy fire, dodging with agility born of desperation. Explosions blossomed in the clouds, painting the heavens with flashes of orange and white. On the ground, the fight was no less brutal. Humans armed with hybrid weapons, part human, part alien tech, moved swiftly through ruined streets. They set traps, detonated explosives, and fought hand-to-hand with the invading soldiers. Every inch of ground was paid for with blood and sweat. Kale led a squad through a crumbling factory, their footsteps echoing in the darkness as they moved toward a vital alien control node. "Keep low. Keep moving," Kale whispered, signaling his team. "We shut down their comms. We cut their response time." The team obeyed, eyes sharp, muscles tense. Suddenly, a shadow flickered at the edge of their vision. An alien scout slipped past their defenses, blade flashing. Kale reacted instantly, firing a pulse shot that sent the scout sprawling. The battle was chaos, unpredictable and deadly. Up above, the dogfights grew fiercer. Kale's trusted pilot, Mira, weaved her fighter through swarms of alien ships, every maneuver precise and daring. She called out enemy positions, her voice calm but urgent. "Kale, their reinforcements are breaking through the western front. We can't hold much longer." Kale clenched his jaw. "We hold the line. For every one of us that falls, two of them will." Suddenly, The sky lit up with an unnatural glow. The alien flagship, colossal and foreboding, unleashed a beam of energy unlike anything seen before. It struck the Earth's surface miles away, vaporizing everything in its path. The ground trembled violently. "What is that?" one soldier shouted, panic creeping into his voice. Kale's eyes narrowed. "A secret weapon. We knew they had something like this, but we didn't expect it so soon." The beam tore through the defenses, creating a deadly crater that swallowed entire squads. Human forces scrambled to regroup, desperation turning to fear. Myra's voice crackled over the comms, tense and urgent. "Kale, that weapon can wipe out entire cities. We need to take down the flagship before it fires again." Kale's mind raced. The alien ship was protected by layers of shields and swarming fighters. A direct assault would be suicide. He thought back to the days before the invasion, the nights spent studying alien technology, the quiet moments with Lila decoding enemy frequencies. There was a plan, a fragile hope hidden in the data. "Prepare the stealth team," Kale ordered. "We go inside the flagship. We find the core. We shut it down." The team gathered quickly, faces set with determination and fear. As they boarded a stolen alien shuttle, the weight of the mission pressed down on Kale's shoulders. Failure meant the end, not just for them but for all humanity. Inside the flagship, the corridors were cold and alien, walls pulsing with strange energy. The team moved silently, avoiding patrols and security drones. Every corner held danger, every shadow a potential trap. Suddenly, a low hum filled the air. The core chamber was ahead, glowing with a fierce light. The weapon's power source was there, unstable and volatile. Kale approached the control panel, fingers flying over alien symbols and codes. The countdown had begun. They had minutes before the weapon charged again. A voice echoed through the chamber, a distorted, mechanical tone speaking in an unknown language. The ship's AI had detected the intruders. Intruders detected. Initiating lockdown. Steel doors slammed shut behind them, sealing their escape route. Kale's heart pounded. "We don't have much time." Lila worked frantically, hacking the system while guards closed in. Sweat dripped down her forehead as alarms blared. Almost there, just a few seconds. Suddenly, the door exploded open and alien soldiers poured in. A fierce firefight erupted. Kale fought with everything he had, every shot precise, every movement calculated. One by one, the guards fell, but the team was running out of time. "Lila, now!" Kale shouted. With a final keystroke, the AI systems began to shut down. The glowing core dimmed and the countdown froze. Outside, the flagship shuddered violently. Shields flickered, and the alien fleet's coordination faltered. But just as relief began to settle, a new horror appeared. The ship's core erupted in a blinding explosion, sending a shockwave that ripped through space. The stealth shuttle was thrown violently, systems failing. Kale's last sight was of the core collapsing in on itself, a black hole forming in the heart of the alien vessel. The battle raged on outside, but the tide had turned. Humanity had struck a devastating blow. Yet as the dust settled, Kale knew the fight was far from over. The aliens would return, and new threats lurked in the shadows. But for now, Earth stood defiant, its people united by courage, sacrifice, and hope. The war had reached a terrifying climax, but the story of survival, rebellion, and the indomitable human spirit was only beginning. The night sky was heavy with tension as the last remnants of the alien fleet retreated beyond the atmosphere. Explosions and flashes of light marked the final battles, the sound of human weapons roaring louder than ever. The secret weapon, a fusion of alien tech and human ingenuity, had changed everything. It was humanity's gamble, and now, against all odds, it was paying off. Kale stood on the ruined rooftop of the old city hall, the wind whipping debris around him. His eyes scanned the horizon where enemy ships fled, broken and disorganized. For the first time in months, the invaders were running. But Kale knew better than to celebrate too soon. This victory was just the surface of something deeper, something darker. Behind him, the resistance fighters gathered, their faces weary but alive. They had lost so much: friends, family, homes. but their spirit burned brighter than any weapon. The cost had been high, but they had survived. More than survived. They had struck fear into the heart of their oppressors. Suddenly, a sharp voice broke the quiet. "Kale, you need to see this." Lila appeared aside, holding a cracked tablet displaying strange symbols and a flickering image. The weapon, it's doing more than just breaking their fleet. It's triggering something inside us. Kale frowned. "What do you mean?" Lila's fingers trembled as she tapped the screen. "People, they're changing. Not just physically. There's something awakening. Enhanced senses, faster reflexes, even strange mental connections. It's as if the weapon released something locked inside human DNA." Kale's mind raced back to old legends, whispered myths of hidden powers in humanity's past. Could it be true? Were they evolving into something new? A sudden explosion nearby snapped everyone's attention back to the battlefield. Alien ground forces, desperate and cornered, launched a surprise counterattack. Kale's squad rushed forward, weapons blazing. The fight was brutal and close, a blur of motion and sound. In the chaos, Kale caught sight of an alien commander retreating. He raised his weapon and fired. A clean shot that sent the alien crashing to the ground. But as the enemy fell, a chilling realization struck him. This was not just a battle between two species. It was a war for survival on an entirely different level. Back at the command center, scientists hurried to study the strange effects spreading among the survivors. Lila worked tirelessly, decoding new data streaming from bioscanners. She found patterns, strange signals emanating from within the altered humans. "We're on the edge of something huge," she told Kale. "But we don't fully understand it yet. There are risks, changes could go wrong, or worse, attract attention from forces beyond the aliens." Kale clenched his fists. "Whatever happens, we won't run. We'll face it, like we always have." As days passed, the altered humans began to form small groups. Shadow fighters, they called themselves, moving silently through cities, striking unseen, their powers growing stronger. Their actions sowed chaos and fear among any who opposed them, human or alien. One night, Kale walked through the darkened streets, memories flooding his mind. He remembered his family, lost in the first wave of the invasion, their faces haunted by hope and despair. He thought of the friends who had fallen, the sacrifices made, and the promise he had made to protect what was left. A faint whisper echoed behind him. He turned to see a figure cloaked in shadow. The stranger's eyes gleamed unnaturally bright. "You're one of us now," the figure said softly, "stronger than before. We are the future." Kale nodded slowly, understanding dawning. This was not just survival. This was transformation. Humanity was no longer the hunted. It was becoming the hunter. Suddenly, an alarm blared through the city. A massive energy surge erupted from the horizon, tearing through the sky like a celestial storm. The alien fleet, scattered but not defeated, had called for reinforcements. Something far worse was coming. Kale's heart pounded. The real war was just beginning. As the city braced for the unknown, Kale whispered to himself, "We did not just survive. We became the shadows they fear."